Left side, front row, Michael.
Steph, Michael Grange from Sportsnet, over to your left.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Welcome. About what point did you guys really start noticing that Toronto could be a team you'd end up crossing over against, number one? And was it as far back as last summer? And number one, how kind of refreshing maybe, is that, if that's a word, for you to have an opportunity to be in a finals that doesn't involve Cleveland?
I mean, probably the last 4 years, honestly. They've been knocking on the door. You always, keeping up with what's going on in the other conference, through every playoff run and chase. And obviously this year was the year they got over the hump. So realistically speaking, it was 10 days ago or what, 5 days ago when they, won Game 6 that you kind of lock in on what that experience is going to be like. One, starting on the road in the finals. Two, playing against a different team other than Cleveland, because Cleveland and the finals are pretty synonymous for us with our experience. But I would say just this entire year has been kind of wild for us, chasing the same goal but doing it with a lot of noise around us, and to be able to start here in Toronto against a different opponent in our fifth straight finals creates a great edge for us, and I like the energy that we're coming in with for Game 1.
Miriam Medaya from CBC Radio Canada. To follow up on what you just said, what is your mindset coming in and playing the first 2 games ever finals outside of the United States here in Toronto?
Honestly, that didn't really come into play for us. We've been here before. We understand the hoopla and the pandemonium around the finals and how different things are when it comes to just the schedule and the vibe. So we've seen a lot, and we'll be ready for it. It's just kind of got to get settled in, early. We know the crowd's gonna be crazy, and for us, it's a great opportunity to go out and just give her 110% and figure it out.
And for your family, what does it mean to be back here?
It's special. I talk about it every year. My dad having played here for 3 years. This is where he retired back in '02. I lived here for a couple years, went to school out here. So my wife grew up in Markham, right down the street. So a lot of family history, and a lot of, that side of the family still lives here. So I look forward to coming back here every regular season, and now to be in the finals. Something I've honestly been looking forward to if they ever, made it. So it's here, and I'm gonna enjoy it.
Right side, fifth row, Tim.
Steph, Tim Reynolds with the AP. What is sort of makes Kawhi so maybe more difficult to defend now than he's ever been before? And to that end, what sort of a comfort is it knowing that at any time you guys have an Andre or a Clay or a Draymond who can be in front of him whenever you guys choose to match up however you will?
I mean, he's tough. Obviously, he's been playing amazing this whole playoff run and really all season. He's always at his own pace and never seems to get rushed or be in a hurry. He's obviously physically gifted and strong and can get to his spots. But he's become a really good shooter. When he gets even off the dribble, getting to a spot, rising up. And his counters are pretty solid too. You take one thing away from him, he can shift directions, try to get a shoulder by you, and get into the paint. And he uses the entire floor really well. So for us, knowing, like you said, we have some beyond capable defenders to guard him. It's going to take on that one-on-one challenge. It's going to be important, but it's also, like we always say, and what we always do when we're executing, at a high level, is it's all 5 guys being on a string, being able to send help and rotate, and they have shooters as well that you got to be aware of. And as of late, the Milwaukee series, some guys got hot and played off Kawhi really well. So you want to make it as difficult as possible on him. And all the other guys who are helping and rotating, try to take away their threes and rebound the basketball and make him defend on the other end as well.
Left side, fourth row, Kareth.
Hi, Steph. Jeremy Lin shared his favorite memory of you. It was from back in the day. You guys were teammates. The Warriors were struggling at that time. You had gone through some injuries, and then before game 82, he said you rolled your ankle. So he joked he was expecting to start that game, but no, you came out to play. So a couple questions off that. Do you remember that, playing in that game 82? Do you have a favorite moment with Jeremy? And then what is the bond that forms between young players on a struggling team, and how does that carry forward?
I vaguely remember that. When you say ankle rolls, I have to go through the whole Rolodex of 50 different times, so it's hard to pick out one. But I do remember him in the years that we played against him, or with him in Toronto. I mean, I'm all over the place. When we played against or played with him in the Bay, and so when he was there, my impressions of him is just how hard he worked and on a daily in practice. Challenging me, challenging the guards that we had, Clay, in terms of trying to make us better and establish himself as an NBA player. And like most of the world, just my favorite thing about him is his perseverance. I remember when can't remember exactly who came out on the court, but when he got waived in the middle of training camp and ends up in Houston, I think, and then ends up in New York. And obviously, Linsanity takes over. It's not a lot of people that can, go through that many defeats, if you will, and still have the self-confidence that, whenever that opportunity does present itself, I'm gonna take advantage of it. And he's made an amazing career, out of that. So, and just him as a human being, he's a great dude. That when you talk about guys on struggling teams trying to make it, that bond and that work ethic and just the attitude of we're just going to appreciate every opportunity we have to play basketball, that means a lot for sure.
Two more questions, front row, left.
Hey, Steph. Mark Medina, Bay Area News Group. What's it going to take for the team to continue to hold down the fort without Kevin, given the unique challenges that Toronto presents?
We just keep doing what we've been doing and doing it by committee. We've had amazing contributions from everybody on the bench that's come in and produced for us on both ends of the floor. So we're going to have to play smart. Myself stay out of foul trouble. Draymond continue to do what he's doing in terms of dominating both sides of the floor. And just play with confidence and play fast, play loose. And as Coach say, play discipline. So, we know what we're capable of, and when he does come back, we'll be able to transition and hopefully elevate our game even more. So, great opportunity for us, no matter who's playing.
Final question, right side in the back.
Josh Lewenberg, TSN. Steph, in your years playing against Kyle Lowry, watching Kyle Lowry, where have you seen the evolution in his game, and what challenges does he present in a 7-game series?
I mean, he's tough and scrappy and just a high IQ, basketball player that, in terms of just, he's always seems to be in the mix, whether he's taking a charge or getting a loose ball or getting a steal or knocking out a big shot. And I know he's heard a lot of noise throughout these playoff runs here in Toronto, trying to get over the hump and whatnot, but he's just a very solid basketball player that knows how to play the game and knows how to impact it. So you just got to know where he is at all times. You got to match his energy because that'll be there, especially at home, and that it's gonna be fun. Guys like that bring the best out of you for sure.
Thank you.